Hello, I'm Rupinder, the Head of Programmes at the Peter Jones Foundation. I'm delighted to be welcoming our guest as part of the Igniting Enterprise series.
Hello, my name is Joanna Jensen. I'm the founder of the UK's favourite baby and child toiletries brand, Child's Farm. So I'm an entrepreneur, I'm also an angel investor, an NED, and now an author.
Fantastic. Joanna, thank you so much for coming in today.
Pleasure.
I know you have a very busy schedule, so we really appreciate you taking the time out and just being here and sharing some of your entrepreneurial journey with us. So you mentioned Child's Farm, the UK's favourite sort of baby skincare brand. If you don't mind, can we start with that? How did that sort of come about? What's your story?
Well, like a lot of brands, I set up Child's Farm from a need. So my youngest daughter was born with chronic atopic eczema, and there was nothing on the market that could soothe her really irritated skin. And I was given the choice of, products that have been around since I suffered from eczema in the 70s or steroid cream. And I didn't want to use either on a newborn baby. So I took it upon myself to find out what was the right thing for her skin. And that inevitably ended up with me creating Child's Farm as a solution, not just for her, but for the 1 in 5 under 5s in the UK who have atopic eczema.
Wow. And the journey from kind of sort of making your own version of what ended up being sort of the brand, what did that journey look like?
The whole journey, start to finish, actually creating the products to go on the website took about a year. And that was finding a manufacturer, finding somebody who could understand what I was trying to say. It seems hard to believe it, but saying to someone, I want to use natural and naturally derived ingredients, I want to use sustainable ingredients, I want to use sustainable packaging. Back in 2011, when I was doing this, that was really hard to do, but it was absolutely the essence of what we were trying to create. Something that was so natural you could put on your little one's skin, whether that was from the fragrances to the shea butter. So it was really important we got that right. And I was very lucky that I was introduced to a manufacturing partner who really understood what it was I was trying to do. They weren't my first person that I spoke to, but they were the first ones that actually really got it. And I honestly can say without them, it would have been a much slower journey. But they, again, it was an entrepreneurial business. Guy had set it up. He really knew his onions, and he just allowed us to accelerate really quickly and understood that entrepreneurs work in dog years. We do in a year what others take 7 years to do.
Yeah. Do you think there's a difference between being an entrepreneur and being somebody who runs a small business or is a freelancer?
I think that's a really brilliant question because I often say some people are founders and some people are entrepreneurs. And I think entrepreneurs, it comes from a French word meaning risk taker.
Yeah.
And there is an urgency about an entrepreneur, which some founders don't necessarily have.
Okay.
And that urgency is everything from ambition to drive to just, endlessly wanting to achieve above and beyond they've ever done before or that anyone else has ever done. And a founder entrepreneur is the same, but a founder on their own, there is something solid about them, but maybe they're lacking a bit of that ambition.
Yeah.
That's how I would define it. Entrepreneur, just think risk. And it's not only their own time, I suppose, but that risk includes most definitely their own money. People who put up their own homes because they say believe in their business. The founders of Peppa Pig did exactly that. All of those super risks are the ones that I think draw out that entrepreneurial spirit.
One of sort of Peter's kind of belief, which kind of kick-started, the Peter Jones Enterprise Academy, is that entrepreneurs are not born, they're made. And that was the foundation for kind of setting up the kind of the level 3 course that is still currently running. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. It is nurture. And I grew up with an entrepreneurial grandmother, but of course we didn't realise that's what she was. We just thought she was a businesswoman, and as was my grandfather. And I was surrounded by people doing deals 24/7. you know, it didn't matter what day of the week it was. You know, if there was somebody that wanted to come into their shop, they were antiques dealers.
Right, okay.
They would do so. She was the first person to send containers of brown furniture to San Francisco and to Australia. She created a market for Regency furniture really around the world. And she just did it. And we therefore were brought up in an environment where you just got on with stuff.
Yeah.
There was no lingering, there were no really days off. And that to us was perfectly normal because we had been shown that was what you do. And if we wanted something, the immediate reaction would be, well, how are you going to get together the money to pay for it?
If young people don't have that sort of, you know, that environment, that upbringing, how can they kind of be sort of entrepreneurial?
Well, I think you have to just sort of look at your circumstance and say, do I want to do this? Is this what I want to do? Or do I want to just be my person on my terms doing my dreams? And I think there are ways you surround yourself with people that are like-minded.
Yeah.
You find those experienced entrepreneurs and you have a look at what they're doing. And if you like the look of it, learn more. Go and seek out more. Watch podcasts of them. See how they respond to things. If that resonates with you, just keep on exploring it more and more and more. The joy about humanity is we're all so different.
Yeah.
So never, ever judge a book by its cover. There's a brilliant, fun enough book, Judge It by its cover, called Surrounded by Idiots by a chap called Thomas Erickson. And in this, he talks about the Insights program, which very generalistically splits us into 4 different colours.
Okay.
Red being a director, yellow being a creative, green being a sort of empathetic, and a blue being an administrative person. And you pull those things together and you can do this online and it will tell you where your strengths are and your weaknesses too. So you know what to dial up. So I, for example, am 99% red, which means I'm a director. I tell everyone what to do. I'm quite bossy.
Yeah.
And I will actually let's not use the word bossy. I like to take control of situations and hugely confident. And when I see someone like my PA was very green, so she was a sort of very caring, community person. When she'd come into my office in the morning and I would be head buzzing with all the things I had to do that day, do not disturb, I need to work it out. And she'd say, hi, how are you? How was your evening? I had to dial up my own green and respond by saying, very nice, thank you. And how was yours? Tell me, did you have a fun evening? All I wanted to do was to say, go away. I've got my head in a bunch of numbers and I need to get on with it. But knowing more about yourself allows you to dial up those areas where maybe you're not so naturally good at. And that's something that we should all be working on throughout our lives.
I love that advice. I think that's brilliant.
And then I know, you tell me who you are. And it's one of the questions when you hire people for a job. Yeah. When have you ever been asked, so how do I get the most out of you? Yeah. Or how do I get the best out of you? And if you are asked it, you probably sit there completely dumbstruck going, oh God, be nice to me?
Yes.
But it could be, delegate to me.
Yeah.
Allow me to ask as many questions as I need to ask because I need clarity to perform well. All of these things allow people to progress. Yeah. And they'll allow your business to progress.
Yeah. But that is so powerful, being able to sit there and know what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are and how you need to adapt yourself around other people.
Totally.
Because that example you've given me is just it's just brilliant because I can see that that's what you were feeling. But imagine if you had said, "Oh, go away! I don't have time for this. I'm just really busy." Would it have been worth it?
I would have ruined her day.
Yes, she would have been.
Because for her, people's responses and being liked and wanted was really, really, really important. Whereas for me, I couldn't care less.
Yes. Yeah. You mentioned, Thomas, was it? Thomas
Erickson,
Thomas
the book,
Erickson.
Surrounded by Idiots. So
Okay.
the reason it's called that is because we think everyone is like us.
Yeah.
So I'm Red, I direct, I tell. But you maybe don't. You like to come to your own conclusions. What good is it going to be to anyone to have somebody working in finance who's, seat of the pants, risk taker, just do it, just do it, just do it.
Yeah.
No, we want someone who's diligent, who is absolutely correct, goes through everything with a fine tooth comb. And that's not necessarily somebody who's going to be 99% red.
Yeah.
You have got to use your time to understand what it is you really, really, really enjoy. And even if there's things like, I didn't really go bundle on maths, but maths, if you have any aspirations to be an entrepreneur, is super important. Just being able to do simple calculations is really, really important. So it can allow you to make decisions through school that can be really impactful on your life later.
Yeah. Because I suppose it's very easy to just go, well, that's not my skill set, so I'm just going to outsource that. But I think you're right. If you don't own those numbers, how are you truly going to know what decisions you have to make and how well you're doing? As a young person, you're 14, sort of 19 years old, how do you go about building the resiliency? Do you need to have knockbacks? Do you need to feel that you have to just keep... Is it about fighting? Is it about just keep going?
You have to be a natural optimist.
Yeah.
And that's really, really important.
If we don't have that awareness, we might beat ourselves up about, why aren't we reacting in a way that is expected of us? Or why am I being like this? Perhaps all I need is just a little bit of time out.
It's certainly within your power to keep those boundaries, those resilient boundaries there, and say, no, go away, negativity.
Yes,
No,
yeah.
I'm not listening to you and you telling me that I've got to be exhausted, I've worked so hard. Entrepreneurs are typically superhuman anyhow. It goes back to that passion, it goes back to that want to be successful, it goes back to ambition, all of these things. And yet you can have a tech entrepreneur who is very low beneath the parapet, and there isn't a huge personality there, but it's all inside.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on display the whole time. I mean, I'm very demonstrative. You can tell the passion in everything that I do and I say, but there are many entrepreneurs out there who are quite the reverse.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So we've kind of touched on mindfulness as well, as part of that kind of resilience piece, which I think is also really important. So Child's Farm then, you sold that, didn't you?
I did. I sold it in 2022 to a big PLC, and that was a bit of a shock. And I sold it really in two tranches.
Okay.
They bought the bulk of it in 2022, and actually I sold the balance of it in January 2025.
Wow, so very recently.
Yeah, very recently. So in that time, I had to go from being, in charge to being an employee to being nothing.
So how did Red Hat Joanna feel about that?
Well, Red Hat Joanna initially really didn't cope very well at all, because Red Hat Joanna didn't know what to do, because 24/7 I'd been working on that business, and then at the end 3-4 weeks of working round the clock.
Wow.
So you're pretty tired, and you've sort of, everything's been run a bit ragged, and then suddenly your responsibilities have gone from this to this.
Wow.
And it's sort of like, okay, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
And I think I was infuriating.
Yeah.
Because I was itching to do stuff.
Yeah.
But there was no stuff for me to do. And and then I would sort of start stalking Instagram and complaining about posts that have been posted relating to Child's Farm. And my husband would turn around and say, just go and look at your bank balance. Stop it, go and look at your bank balance. And then I found other things to fill my day and to act as a distraction, so I could move my energy pivot my
Yes,
energy
pivot. I like it.
into something that meant I did feel I was getting a reward for what was, I still got a lot to give. And I wanted to make sure that I was still giving it and giving it in the right areas and to the right people.
Did you feel that huge sense of achievement and success with it? Or have you not had enough distance from it to be able to look back on that?
It's a brilliant question. I think the first 6-8 months, it just didn't compute. And I was finding it really hard to let go because it had been such a significant part of my life. And everything about it, even from my children on the labels, was an extension of our family.
Yeah.
And it then occurred to me when people would say to me, gosh, they had to say to me, gosh, you must be really pleased.
Yeah.
And I'd have to sit there and go, gosh, am I pleased? And there were sort of parts of me thinking I let it go too soon, I should have clung on. But it was absolutely the right time. And I always say, never look back. Learn from your mistakes in the past, but don't have regrets about what you've done in the past, because there's nothing you can do to change it. Live for today and the future. And so I just changed the dial and said, right, well done. You've done it. Time to move on. And, I had more time with my kids. Mum's been very poorly, so I had more time with her. So there was everything worked out okay in the end. And then the next thing I know, I'm flat out busy again.
Wow.
And I'm wondering how on earth did that happen, and thinking I should have taken more holidays while I could.
Yes. Yeah. So what have you been working on now? What's life like for you? You're very busy. So what are your projects?
Wow. So somebody said to me, once you sell, don't do anything for 6 months. Sit on your hands.
Yeah.
And just see what happens. Well, I think 6 days after I sold, I made my first investment.
Oh, wow.
And I am an angel investor. So I invest directly into small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, with a particular focus on female founders, because it's tough out there for female founders. We get 1.8% of venture capital funding. If we got 10%, the economy in the UK would be over £300 billion bigger.
Wow.
So I want to give women that I think have got something as much help as I can, and part of that then included becoming an advisor to a wonderful community initiative called By Women Built, set up by a dear friend of mine, Sahar Hashimi. And this is encouraging women who have set up consumer brands to come together as a community and help and share with each other all the great things that they've done.
Wow.
And it's tremendous. And I think she's got over 3,000 members now
Oh, that's
in less than 4 years,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Wow.
I then found that I had lots of things I wanted to share with people. And that started off by me writing articles. And I'm very lucky I get to write for the Times and the Sunday Times and publications like City AM. This then became going on radio, do a lot for Radio 5 Live, and now a bit of telly. And I do a lot of the shows on Channel 5. But I realised fairly quickly is I had so much to say. And the articles were one way of talking about that. But really, I needed to just put it down in one place. So I wrote a book.
And we have a copy here, don't we?
We have a copy here.
Brilliant.
And it has been right up there as about challenging as setting up your own businesses. Quite exhausting. I don't mind. I find writing under pressure, I find it quite stressful. So writing an article I find really stressful if I've got a deadline.
Yeah.
And I always have to get it done before, because if they come back with edits and I need to think about it, I don't like being rushed.
Yeah.
I found that I had an awful lot to say, and it was really cathartic. And so what I thought was going to be one book ended up being 2 books. Otherwise, it would have been the size of War and Peace. And so the first book is all about how to build a brand. And I wanted to share everything that took me months to learn in minutes. Because when you start a business, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all new stuff. So the book is me breaking down all the elements that from when I first had an idea, validating that idea, understanding the market opportunity, the consumer, all the way through to some legals and understanding about what you can and you should and should not have on your website, right up until building your business plan, ready to launch that idea, that product, that service. And then the next book is then how to scale that, how to look for external funding, and ultimately how to exit that business in the way that you're looking to, if that's what you want to do.
Quite rich content for presumably all ages can kind of pick it up. You
And
know.
we did it deliberately so you could sort of pick it up and put it down.
As an angel investor, what sort of things do you look for when you are looking to invest in a small business?
Really sort of splits into two. One is the founder. What I'm looking for is ambition, drive, enthusiasm, and skills. Because you can meet people who are full of beans, really exciting, telling you a fabulous story, and that's all it is. There's no more substance to it than that. What you're looking for is the substance. And again, let's not be bamboozled by personality. Let's really understand how ambitious and how driven an individual is, not them telling you endlessly how driven and ambitious they are, but you by seeing it in their actions and how innovative they are and how determined they are to be successful. And that also includes how much they've bootstrapped their business before they've come to look for investment and how much of their own money they've put into that. Because if you're just going out and asking someone to put their money at risk and you haven't done it yourself, that's not very compelling to me. That means that you think your idea is flawed.
Because
so
why
would you come to me? And why would you not do it yourself?
Yes.
Goes back to the Peppa Pig guys.
Yeah.
They mortgaged everything because they truly believed it was the right thing to do.
I mean, can you tell us how many businesses you've invested in? Are you...
Yes. Well, right now I've invested in 12.
Wow.
Of those, 10 are consumer. So that's food, apparel, food and apparel, I think. Some wellness.
Okay.
And then 2 are tech.
Wow.
Which is not my place of comfort.
Yes, yeah.
But it's where I've learnt. I've had to understand them better.
Right, I see. So I get the kind of impression you like learning.
Oh, I love learning.
You like being out of your comfort zone.
Totally. I just, for me, learning is a joy. And I think we're so lucky in this country that we can. And that I'm just like a sponge.
Yeah. What do you do when you're not Googling or investing or thinking about your next project?
I love horses, so I ride horses, and that for me is my form of meditation.
Wow.
I don't want to go riding with someone, sorry. I want to go on my own.
Yeah.
And even that means I just sort of click-clock along, that's fine. And I love reading. And my favourite is a good old murder mystery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like a bit of brutal death.
Have you been reading the Richard Osman book?
Yeah, I'm halfway through the latest one.
Oh, okay.
But it doesn't take me very long to read a book because I get stuck in. But I'm a fan of John le Carré, love a spy novel.
A question here is, if you could send a voice note to your younger self, what would it be? What would you say?
I think I'd probably say, don't beat yourself up so much.
Yeah.
I'm very good at saying sorry if I do something wrong.
Yeah.
And taking ownership, but I can internalise that quite a bit, and I certainly used to in my child farm days.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't beat yourself up so much. Remember to say well done to yourself.
And that's a really great place to end our questions, I feel. So I'm going to move on to Would You Rather. So we've got a couple of Would You Rather businessy type of Would You Rathers. Then we've got some completely random ones. And then we've got some quick fire. You've just got to choose.
Okay.
So would you rather work 80 hours a week on something you love or 40 hours on something that just pays well?
80.
Thought you'd say that. Would you rather have unlimited funding but zero control, or full control but bootstrap forever?
I think I'd go unlimited funding.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, why?
Because I've learnt so much about things now, and bootstrap forever is exhausting.
Yeah.
Exhausting. And it's that old adage, it's much better to have a little bit of a big pie than a big bit of a small pie.
Would you rather lose your biggest client or your most talented team member?
I want to keep,
Yeah.
please can I keep my superstar team member?
Yeah, you can.
Finding the real gems, the real superstars that can work with you, they're just golden.
Would you rather have a business that's wildly successful but boring, or one that's creatively fulfilling but always on the edge?
Wildly successful and boring.
Really? I honestly thought you were going to say...
Then it would give me time to do other stuff.
Yeah,
You know, that would fund my intellectual curiosity.
brilliant. Love it. Would you rather be known for your innovation or your impact on the community?
Impact on the community.
You said that pretty much straight away.
Yeah. I'm really proud of what I've done and achieved with Child's Farm. In this new chapter in my life, I want to be broader and I want to help so many more entrepreneurs and particularly female founders fulfill their destinies.
Yeah, brilliant. Would you rather be known for one brilliant idea or 100 average ones?
Ooh, tricky one. One brilliant idea or 100 average ones. I know I will be known for 100 average ones as opposed to one brilliant one. So I better just go with the inevitable, 100 average ones. At least it shows that I keep on getting them.
Yes, exactly. So those were the business-related ones. Now these are completely random.
Okay.
Would you rather try a mystery dish from a street vendor in Bangkok or a 12-course tasting menu in Paris?
I cannot bear tasting menus. So give me a mystery dish from a street vendor in Bangkok. I'm gone. By about dish 3, I'm exhausted and I'm full.
And would you rather have a home filled with plants or one filled with books?
Books.
Do you kill plants?
I think there are better parents than me for plants, but I love books.
Belly laughs or wit?
Wit.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Beach holiday or city break?
Beach holiday.
Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Rainy day or sunny day?
Rainy. I can read more books.
Oh, yes, that's true. And sometimes it's nice to be cosy inside when it's raining outside. Dancing or singing?
Singing.
I thought you would say that.
I love singing.
Chocolate or crisps?
Crisps every time.
So you're not into sweet things?
No, I love savoury. Crisps are my absolute bête noire.
Really?
Oh, I can't eat a little packet. I have to have a full fat.
You've got to have
full-blown,
the sharer
huge,
bag.
Yes.
Yeah.
All to myself.
Love it. And finally, camping or glamping? Yeah.
It would have to be glamping of the two, but my idea of hell would be going on a camping holiday.
Yeah.
I'm afraid. Hot and cold running water, proper beds,
Yeah.
fluffy towels,
Yeah.
tick, 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 tick.
Yes.
Anything that involves lying on the floor, mud, and, farting cows.
Yeah.
Not
Doesn't
for me.
appeal.
No. Weirdly, no.
Joanna, thank you so much. That was so interesting, and I feel that we could have just carried on talking, because there's so much that you've said that I think will really resonate with our audience. Your experience, the fact that you've kind of exited a business as well, which I think our audience will really get a feel for what it's like to build that business and to get it to a point where you've kind of exited, and then what life has been like after that, one of which is this book, which I can't wait to read. So thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a real joy.